Am I jealous of Levy? I'm jealous of Levy. Well, I guess one is jealousy, one is sort of just kind of annoying. But what I would say about Levy is the two things that like I would say that I am jealous of Levy of. This will probably make a good clip too. First one is pretty clear cut. First one is the fact that Levy, because when he was a kid growing up, he wasn't really in the spotlight, and he was sort of just, I mean, I don't like saying this, but he was basically nobody, just a random kid playing blitz. Like, he was a very angsty kid, teen, growing up in New York. He, you know, he did some things that weren't great, but nobody actually cares about it because he was not in the spotlight whatsoever. So no one brings up his past in that kind of a way as a young teen, you know, in New York. And I mean, I'm kind of a little bit jealous. I'm gonna say that, a little bit jealous, just because he was just a kid playing the game. He wasn't in the spotlight. So none of that history is like really like documented or recorded. That's the first thing. But the second thing, which I actually am jealous of him on, and this is legitimately jealous, is that I'm very jealous actually of Levy that with the top players, very specifically, the top players are all extremely jealous of Levy. I'm gonna be very clear on this. Like, they may not admit this, or of course they're not gonna say it, but the top players, maybe just GMs in general, they're very jealous of Levy's success. They are. That's just the reality. And I think Hans did a video as well, where Hans did a video where he said the same kind of thing, oddly enough, and so they're very jealous. But with Levy, they can't actually do anything because Levy doesn't play in those play in top level tournaments. He's not in the same sort of clique. He's not someone that they can really say anything about in a way that matters. And so Levy's very insulated from that. And on the other hand, I'm not insulated from that, which is why actually, if you're asking me, like, truthfully, what I am jealous of Levy of, that's what I'm jealous of, is the fact that with the top GMs, actually I should focus on entertainment. Let's just win this first game. I'm not going to, from game 2 I'll start talking about the game, but I want to finish this train of thought. But the thing is, like, with me, the top players, when they say things like, I still play professional, I still try to play the top players, I try to be competitive and do all this stuff, so I'm still in that same world of chess where, like, they can say a lot of negative things, they can try to impact me and in a way that they can't with Levy. They just can't. They can't do that because Levy doesn't play those tournaments. He's not in that world whatsoever, so he's very insulated from all of that nonsense, whereas I am not insulated from it whatsoever because I do play it in the same terms as these top level players. So that is the one thing that I am actually, like, legitimately jealous of Levy about, is the fact that with the top players, like, they can't really say anything or do anything about Levy, even though they are very, very deep jealous inside of themselves. But like with me, like, I still play these tournaments, I still have to see these people in person, so it's quite different. It's quite different. And that is the one thing that I am legitimately jealous of Levy about. So let's just castle here. I can play knight d2, rook e1, knight f1. And yeah, so that's my short answer for the question. Ooh, f6 is a bad move that hangs the bishop here. I'm gonna go knight d2 and then rook e1 and knight f1. So yeah, I'm not going to take the bishop. He hung the bishop with f6. He should have moved the knight first. So let's see what we get here. Let's go rook e1 and knight f1. You could just lie, there's no polygraph here. Good one, good one. Yeah. Let's go knight f1 and knight g3 here. So yeah, no, that I am jealous because, like, with top players, like, they really can't say anything about Levy. But with me, because I still compete at the top level and I see these guys, you know, at tournaments, it's a very different world for me. I'm gonna go bishop e3 and trade some bishops. This first game is going to be a bit of a throwaway from the standpoint of education. We're not going to learn a whole lot, but it is what it is. Yeah, let's play knight takes bishop here. I might go d4 d5. Takes, I can just take back. Goes f5. Now my opponent has not castled his king out of the center of the board, so because he hasn't castled right away, I'm gonna try to blast the center of the board open here before he finishes development. Now he castles. Okay, this is one of the most common tactics you'll see in lower level play, which is this fork with pawn to d5, forking the queen and the knight. Let's go d5 and fork the knight and fork the queen. So let's take the knight here. Pawn takes, I'll just go knight d2 and then knight d5. He takes, I'll just take back. If he takes, I can play knight d2, maybe knight d5 here, and go from there. I'll just trade the knights. I'll take here. I have an extra knight on the board, so I'm very happy. This is probably the most common thing that you'll see in the lower view arenas that I do, which is that basically when you're ahead in material, trying to simplify it's a very good ability to possess. Let's take King G1 and Rook F1. Thank you, Dare Wreck, for the host with 16. Appreciate it. Go here and Rook F1. Play Queen H5 and Rook F7 and Queen G6. Go for the quick checkmate here. Checkmate in 1. So okay, so second game. Okay, I'm gonna play E4 again. Generally I think it's the best opening. What I will say though about the openings I played as a kid growing up, I think some of them are actually outdated and not as good. And one of the openings that I've played in Bullet pretty much since Bullet and Blitz since I was 10 is E4 Knight C3, and I think in the Sicilian the Grand Prix is actually not as effective as it once was. However, my childhood opening against the Caro-Kann, I still believe it's very good, which is the Exchange Caro-Kann, very similar to the London system. I strongly advocate it. Strongly advocate playing this. It's a London. It's like an Exchange Caro-Kann. You get this Carlsbad. Well, I should keep it simple. Carlsbad structure. What is Carlsbad? Everyone's like, are you talking about Carlsbad, California? Like, what's going on? But point is, you get the bishops out. The structure with a 3v2 can occur, or 3v3 can occur in many different openings. I'm gonna play Knight F3 here. King's in the attack. Yes, I can definitely show you that. We'll trade castle at Bishop A6. I trade and then I win with the Queen A4 attack. Let's go here. It seems that you played all the openings from Roman Gingy Hashivili's book. Let's play Knight 2 and Knight E5. Did you do a book? I don't know. Let's play Knight E5 here. It takes. I fork the Queen and the Knight again. I also have F4 to reinforce the horse here. Isn't Carlsbad an NM? Wait, Carlsbad? No, Carlsbad. Oh, there's Carlsbad in New Mexico as well? Wait, I thought Carlsbad was California. Isn't Carlsbad? I thought was a very famous city in California. But anyway, whatever. Let's play. Let's go F4 next move. I'd never heard of Carlsbad, New Mexico. I only knew of Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Okay, let's just go F4 here so I can take with the pawn. I want to go Rook E3 and Rook H3 and attack. I don't know what you guys are talking about with random lie detector content. It's pretty funny actually, though. Sounds pretty hilarious. Gingy had a book and a lot of videos openings you recommend once he named. I wouldn't be surprised if we played some of these openings too. Hikaru, we were so slow at work. It was fun watching you get back to 3200. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, now this just gives up a pawn in the center of the board. The problem for my opponent, main problem, is he's got this bishop that's just doing absolutely nothing, whereas my bishop targets the rook and it hits the pawn. So we're playing a game of the bishops where my bishop is really effective here. I'm going to play rook here, bring the rooks over, and my central pawn structure cannot really be chipped away here. He doesn't have a pawn to go to c5. Maybe there's f6, which is why I'm going to put the queen here to target e6 when he inevitably pushes f6. I'll drop back. If f6, I take and win the pawn on e6 here. Okay, let's play end peasant. I'll take, and now there's pressure on e6. That's actually why I did this, because now I can take with check, and now I take, and I have two extra pawns here. 4 5 6 1 2 3 4. Let's just take on b6. Actually not a great move. There's a rook e8 rook e2 idea maybe to go for an infiltration, but I still have bishop b3 to trade the bishops, and I should be winning in the long term. Wow, he finds it. Nice. Okay, let's go bishop b3. Let's take. Let's go rook f1, because if he gets a double stack, I actually can't win the game. So I'm gonna go rook f1, stop rook f2. 915 not playing bad. I think 915s are actually I'm also gonna say one thing, because I feel like today's the day that I want to have my hot takes. I want to have some of my hot takes, which is that I think players today are much better than they used to be, and like even this 900, is he making mistakes? Is he going to lose this game? Yes, of course he's going to lose the game because he's down 2 pawns, but he's played very well. And a 915 in my day would have blundered on like move 10. They would have blundered on move 10. They would have blundered like a bishop or a queen or a rook, a lot of heavy material. So like players are just better across the board. Even this 9-15, he's gonna lose the game, but he's only losing because he's down a few pawns. If you blunder pawns at this level versus blundering knights, bishops, rooks, and queens, you're gonna do very well. Actually, you're gonna do very well because losing pawns, you'll still have a great chance to win games. Is the 900 doing better than Magnus? Good question, you guys. Good question. So let's go king f3. We guard the pawn. I have a bunch of extra pawns in the center of the board. I'll play blitz later, but quite a bit later. We're gonna do our view arena, keep it very, very chill and low-key here. We have the Puzzle Rush World Championship, which I'm probably gonna get absolutely smoked in later on at about noon Eastern. So we have that coming up. Get e4 here. Do you agree with Levy's advice? Don't resign on the board. I mean, don't resign in chess is a very generic term. I think what I would say is essentially, I would say if you're below 1500, I almost don't recommend resigning unless you have pawns on the board. So if he was saying you only have knights on the board, I think that's reasonable. I would say below 1500, I mean, like anything can happen to some degree. It's more a function of how many pieces you have on the board than how many pieces your opponent does. Okay, now I'm going to just develop my knight, develop the bishop and the pawn here. How I see the Queen's Gambit? No, you guys, what is Queen's Gambit? That's an opening, right? It's a chess opening. I guess I'll play e6 and bishop d6 next move. Let's go here, bishop d6. Very, 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 very fluid and easy to play the Caro-Kann. Hey Hikaru, I'm new to chess. Any tips for getting good at chess? I would say actually I'll two things. Let me win the game, and then I'll tell you guys how I learned. One second. I just gotta find Drew Xy, I think is what it was. Let me see if I can find a picture. Yes. Yes. So first step to becoming very good at chess, you guys, is this. First step is this, okay? First step, this is how you become very good at chess. You got to go out, you got to go out and you got to buy this magnetic chess set. You just got to use this and move the pieces. This is step one, okay? And step two is let me find another image. Step two is you got to go out, open how do I open the image in a new tab? I'm gonna be down like open image, a new tab. There we go. Step two is you got to go buy this book. I'll just blow it up for a second so you can see it. There you go, which is Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess. Now basically you got to go buy a magnetic chess set. You got to go buy this book, set up the positions on your magnetic chess set, and just go over every single puzzle in the book. Okay, that's what you got to do if you want to play chess like Hikaru. Okay, so I think I explained it pretty well, you guys, and let's get back to the game. Let's castle here, and we'll go from there. Obviously I'm joking because am I trolling? I'm trolling, but I'm not trolling. Actually, I'm trolling from the standpoint you don't need to do that, but I'm not trolling in that that's actually how I started out in chess. Was you got to realize I grew up in the I basically started playing chess in the late 90s. I started playing chess in the late 1990s, and at that time technology was not where it is today. So you basically did not have personal computers. You didn't have handheld phones. These devices did not exist. So that's actually that's what I did. I basically I'm gonna go knight h4 and hit the bishop on f3 here. That's how I started, was with like my magnetic chess set and book, and just setting up the puzzle positions on the set and just going over every single puzzle. Obviously now you guys are like, what are you doing? You're a moron. Like, just go on your computer, go on chess.com, take 5 seconds to do a puzzle. So that's also why everybody's getting better at chess at a much faster rate these days than in the past, is because the time it takes to do puzzles, do all these things, is less and less than it was. Like when I was growing up, to do probably 10 puzzles, if I think about it, set up the puzzle and do the puzzle on the magnetic chess set, probably took, I mean, probably on average, even if they're very easy puzzles, at least like 20 to 30 seconds. Now these same puzzles, you can probably do them in 3 seconds online. Like you can probably do it in like, it probably takes you 3 seconds versus 30 seconds. Probably takes you like 10x the time, or 10x less time than it did for me. So you actually can learn a lot quicker now than you could when I was growing up. I'm gonna play knight takes f3. We're playing viewers. No, bishop g5 is a move. It's not a bad move, but I take the bishop and I check the king. When did I start playing on ICC? The earliest memory that I have of playing on the Internet Chess Club if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was around December of 1996. I think it was December of 1996. If you were to like ask me, I could be wrong on that, but I think it was very late in 1996. I'm gonna go knight to e7 and g6. Yet you're still better than there. Well, I'm not talking about the beginner level necessarily, but I'm saying that kids these days at like the GM level, they can learn a lot quicker. Like they can do so many puzzles, boom 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 boom. And so they actually they improve a lot quicker than when I was growing up, which is why when you see the top GM saying these things and getting really annoyed about you know, cheating, quote unquote, it's very clear to me that top GMs these days are somewhat in denial, and they don't realize just how much COVID was a game changer for chess as a whole. And you've seen it the last couple days when I've been playing Blitz, when I've been playing these kids who are IMs, and like yesterday I was playing this guy Kazakh fighter. He's like 2900, and I'm actually getting really annoyed because like when I play him, it's like, how does this kid know all these openings? He's like, he's an IM, and IM should not know all these openings, and yet he does, because today kids, they learn these things so much quicker than they ever used to. Whereas when I was growing up, you know, some kid who's 2490, they like know like 5 openings with black, you're like, they got to be cheating. There's no way they can't know that many openings. It's not possible. But chess has changed a lot. Now I'm up some pawns here. Let's go rook e4. This guy's playing well too. Very honorable mention for this guy. I mean, he's gonna lose on time, but he's playing a good game. So let's keep going. Okay, now I'm gonna play someone asked for the king's any attack. The reason I don't like the king's any attack is because it's very, very slow, and you don't really get a lot of space, but I'll do it anyway. I mean, like, yeah, you go like knight d2, e4, and castles, and it's very flexible and playable, but it's also very, very slow. Like, because you don't have a lot of space. It's like, what do you do with these pieces? Do you develop the bishop this way, that way? It's not super easy to play. Now, obviously, I'm of a level where I know how to develop the pieces correctly, so it's quite reasonable. But I feel like for someone who's lower rated, like here, it's very hard. Do you go b3? Do you go queen e2? What are you playing for? Now, I'm going to go queen e2, rook d1, because I believe the bishop belongs on this diagonal. But even this position, you're going to see a situation where I have the 2 bishops. But this technique of the 2 Bs, I would say below even master level, it's very hard to understand when the 2 bishops are better than a bishop and a knight. Very, very tough. You were 9 when you first played online. Impressive. Yes, true. Yeah, I was young, you guys. Yeah, I was young. I mean, I was young once upon a time. Let's go 91 and knight d3. That was on dial-up. Yes, that was on AOL. That was on AOL. The dial-up screen where you get the 3 things. I don't remember what the AOL dial-up screen looks like, but there are 3 things. There's like the connecting, and there's connected. But yeah, let's go knight d3 here. What's dial-up exactly? Yes. Don't make me feel that old, you guys. Don't make me feel too old. I'm gonna go here, knight d2, knight d3. Yeah, I mean, I'm old, but I don't want to feel that old. Like, what's dial-up? Huh? Dial-up? What's that? Okay, now the problem here for my opponent is that I cover his square with my pawn, but I can create a bastion with knight d5. Yes, Netscape also. Netscape was good. Yahoo was good. There was I think there was Lycos, if I remember correctly, as well. I think it was I think there was Lycos too. Now 97 wins the game here, but I'm gonna play this more for the themes to show you guys how to play for this is pretty deep, but some positional concepts. So I'm gonna go here and stack the 2 towers on the file. Oh, Alta Vista. Yes, Alta Vista. I think that's what my brother and I think that's what we would do when we try to do HTML programming. I'm gonna play bishop h3 to hit the knight. Commodore is before my time, just a little bit before my time. Okay, I'm gonna go here, and the reason I'm gonna go here is I want to stop him from pushing. I have the two rooks on the center file. That's a good move. Let's play rook d3. Good move. I'm gonna go rook f3, pressure the pawn. He's playing quite well, actually. But now I can go bishop f1 to undermine the pawn on c4. And there are, now I take, and I guess he has queen a4, which is playable. But I can also always just trade and go bishop b5. Ask Jeeves. That was the other one that I'd forgotten about. Let's go how do I play this position? My opponent's playing pretty well, actually. Big applause to him. He's playing a good game here. I'm gonna go king h2, which is a little bit of a sneaky move, as you're gonna see in a second. Scotch is not easy to understand. The Scotch opening with knight takes d4, I think it's pretty straightforward. But like I'll give you an example. Let me open let me give you this example. Okay, let's see, what does chess.com say? Okay, I don't, yeah, 1 second. Let's go b4, take away a square from the horse. I'm gonna move my queen back. I'm gonna try to go bishop c4 because I want to put pressure on this pawn. Now the way I've played this game is pretty deep, and I think for someone who's a beginner at the game, it's gonna be hard to understand what I'm doing in this game. And honestly, that's why I don't really like the king's any attacks. It's very, very slow, and it's very hard to play. It's very hard to prove an advantage. So I'm gonna go rook f6 here. I used MySpace. Yeah, MySpace, where you put the king h2 was sneaky because I was trying to set up a trick with a knight e4 idea. He takes, I'll take. Oh, I should have played rook f7 first, but okay, let's take and go rook d6 here. A lot of pressure here on the pawns with the queen and the rook. Could go knight d5 here. I'm gonna go queen d1 to line up rook d7 and queen f3 and knight d5. I'm trying to use all of my pieces here. Now he's got a big problem because I have a kebab, but I'm also trying to checkmate him with queen f3. So let's go checkmate. Now before we continue, guys, I'll give you another example of why chess is so different, which is like, I'll just pop this up for a second. So you see I'm on chess.com right now, and this is literally like, you literally can, there are lessons on the Scotch opening. You can go through all the different moves here and all sorts of different stuff. Now when I was growing up, the way I learned was from my stepfather, and also I'll give you one example. Let me images, images, where is the book? Yeah, let me open this image in a new tab. And basically the way I learned was basically, again, I did use a computer, but one of the books that I used to learn was Winning with the Scotch. And I remember when I was master level, I went to play in this tournament in Hungary first Saturday, and before one of the games, I literally arrived at the chess club in Budapest maybe 30 minutes before the game. I was literally sitting at a physical board there, and I had the book open. I was going over lines before the game started. And nowadays you just go on chess.com, and in 5 seconds you have all the same, you have better resources, frankly, at the tip of your fingertips, before you have to do any of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's just, chess is so different. I literally arrived at the chess club, I think like in like 30 to 45 minutes before the game. I remember I played a game against this Hungarian Pal Petron, and I was literally flipping through the pages. I was making the moves on the physical board. Now on a computer, you can go through variations in 5 seconds instead of 5 minutes. So everyone's just learning the game at such a quicker pace than when I was growing up. And even I would say online now with the whole pandemic, kids who are young, they're learning these even quicker than, like, I think kids who are like 15 16 learn things when they were like 8 9 years old. Okay, let's go c6, guard the pawn. I want to put the bishop on d6 here. Fisher studied all day so hard reading the books. Exactly, that's how you learn. But now with the internet, you can learn the same stuff, and probably like, it probably takes you 5% of the time. That's why you have kids getting so good at such young ages, because the ability to process the information and the information that exists is just so massively, so much much easier now than it was when Fisher was growing up, or like when I was growing up. Like, it's just the reality of the game. I'm gonna trade these light square Bs because I've got a very nice bishop that's always spying the pawn, perfectly placed bishop, and I have a nice structure of pawns here, stops the knight from coming to the center of the board. Let's develop the knight. Fisher today, he'd still be a very strong player. He'd be a very, very strong player still. I mean, he's obviously not as good as Magnus, but he would be very, very strong. Let's play rook e8 and trade pieces here. Okay, I'm gonna go queen f6, maybe pressure the pawn on the center of the board, maybe trade the rooks here. What did I play against the Queen's Gambit in your youth? In my youth, I did not play d4. I actually was a 1e4 player until I was about international master level. Go knight b6 and knight c4 here. Yeah, until I was about 2400, I played 1e4 exclusively. Nowadays everybody plays e4, d4, c4, all sorts of openings under the sun, but that's pretty much all I played. Or actually, no, I did play, I played the Trump-Howski for a while too, and also the Trump-Howski, that was another opening that I learned from a very specific book. Let me see if I can find the book. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, today we're doing our trip down memory lane, but here's basically the Trumpowski, the way that I learned that opening was from this book, very specifically. It was this book. It was Secrets of the Trumpowski volume 1. I was really upsetting because I literally went through this book page by page, the whole book. And as you see, it says volume 1, but the problem is there was never a volume 2. So I was very sad because this book I read cover to cover many times, but it is what it is. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna go knight c4, hit the pawn on a5 here, and we keep rolling. Yeah, sorry you guys, I'm doing my trip down memory lane today for some reason. Yeah. So goes 95. The problem with this move is now the bishop is just hanging after the trade. He just loses the bishop, and now I should be winning. What's a book? It's like if you printed off the off the internet onto paper. Yeah. Yes. Will kids be better than Magnus? I think we'll see. I mean, eventually there will be someone in chess who's better than Magnus. Whether that I mean, really, and I've seen this talked about. The question is, will it be one generation or will it be like multiple generations? So I'm going to take with a knight here. I'm trying to maybe harass the king side a little bit here, but I would say that it will happen. It's just a question, will it be like 5-10 years after he retires, or will it be like 25-30 years after? Let's play knight short. This 8-year-old kid is good. I'm going to talk about this 8-year-old kid in regards to his result in the World Rapid Blitz, but also another issue which I think FIDE has to sort of figure out right now, which is that there is definitely a problem with the rating system. Because this kid Roman Shogzdiziev, who had a great result in the World Rapid Blitz, he played a tournament right before that, which was the Asian Junior Championship, and he lost 2 games to players who were rated 1500 over the board. Now these players, I looked at the games actually because games were available. These players played literally like 2400 players, but their ratings were 1500. So there is a problem with the system right now, and I think FIDE is going to have to address it at some point down the line. Let's go queen g4, queen f3, and queen g2. I think this is actually a forced checkmate here. Oh, we'll cover that later on. Maybe I'll cover that after the arena actually. So there's something seriously wrong with the rating system. I think it's directly correlated to the pandemic and people spending all day long playing online and actually not playing much over the board. No, I'm not joking. He played and he got crushed. Like, it's not like he lost the game. He got crushed by players who were rated 1500 over the board, and he lost something like 80 rating points. Play knight f6. Like, he just got crushed. I mean, he got blown away. What's a board? I know what's a board. What's a screen? Why? I think it's because during the pandemic there were, well, let's just start with the obvious. There were a lot of kids, let's say 6-7 years old, 5, 6, 7, who started playing chess during the pandemic, who only know about playing chess online. So they played online a lot, never played over the board, so they don't actually have established ratings. I'm gonna play the, I don't know why I'm playing the Benko Gambit because it's not a good beginner opening, but I'll play it anyway. Let's play a6 and take. So there are a lot of kids who started playing online and they've never played over the board. So isn't chess that game from the internet? I mean, I know, right? Let's go d6 knight d7 and queen b6 here. Chess not virtual. Yeah. What's a board? What, I mean, chess, isn't it that e game or esport or whatever? Let's go rook b8 here. Let's target the pawn on b2. I'm gonna go g6 fianchetto the bishop. I'm 2400 FIDE rated, struggling. That's 1900 2000 OTB today, but I do well versus higher rateds. Yeah, no, it's legitimately a problem, and I don't know when FIDE is gonna, how FIDE is gonna address it, but it's a big problem. You actually see it everywhere. Like, there was this event in Sitges where Lenier Dominguez played, and he played an 1800 rated Indian kid, and he won the game. But for the first 20 moves of that game, he was actually very slightly better. He was not much better against an 1800 level player. And you're talking about one of the players who's like top 10 in the entire world on this planet that we call Earth, and he was struggling against an 1800 kid. So there's definitely something wrong with the rating system at the moment, and I'm not sure what FIDE is going to do to address it. Okay, this is, I'm gonna go queen 8 and castles. Let's castle here, maybe rook c8 and c4 here next move. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. I want to start to put stuff on the open files. So I'm down a pawn, but I have counterplay. I don't know what the solution is, but I'm just saying there's very clearly something wrong right now. Because when I looked at that kid Roman Shogdziziev's games in the World Rapid Blitz, and I looked at his games against these like 1500 kids in the Asian games, I mean, those 1500s were not 1500 players. I mean, they were not 1500. I mean, he got crushed by 1500s, and so there's something wrong with the rating system, and I mean it's gonna need to be addressed at some point. I'm gonna go queen a6 and try to trade some queens here because I can put the knight on b4. It's also made me start to wonder if in reality the ratings are just completely wrong too, because like if you look at everything that people say about online chess, like Kramnik says or MVL or Fabiano says about cheating, I've started to wonder that maybe the problem is that actually the ratings are just wrong. So when people look at these ratings, they're like, I lost this IM, or you know, it's not possible. The ratings might just be wrong. It's very possible the ratings are wrong, and so we assume the ratings are correct, but the ratings might not be correct. So I'm pressuring the pawn on b3 here. I've got a great diagonal, a lot of pressure here, even though I'm still down a pawn. Okay, I think I can go c4 here, but I don't want to because then he goes b4. How do I put even more pressure? I think I'm gonna go here and try to bring my pieces into the center of the board. I don't really recommend the Benko Gambit, by the way, to be clear, at lower levels. Over the board is expensive too. That's why a lot of people don't play, because yeah, costs a lot of money. Okay, I'm gonna go here, remove the horse so that the knight can jump. Okay, I'm gonna go here, jump with the horse again. Okay, he goes king h1. I'm gonna take the pawn because I have the double stack and the knight here. This just loses material. Mind you, he's getting low on time, so it's probably why he's blundering. Go here. Oh, he walked into it. I have a classic ice skater checkmate. Let's keep going. Did chess.com crash? Is my internet just bad? I don't know, could be anything. So all right, let's play d4. I think if you're going to play d4 as a beginner though, you should probably play bishop f4, bishop g5. That's very smart, Hikaru. I heard this quote: just because everyone is doing it doesn't mean it's right, and just because no one else is doing it doesn't mean it's wrong. What do you mean? Play knight f3 here. I don't know what you mean by that. Goes d5. I'll play c4 here. Play knight c3. Standard. Queen is plays bishop b4 at 1500 level. I don't know if I love the Rogozin, but again, with all the course, everything out there, it's probably completely playable. Puzzle World Championship is going to be at 12 o'clock Eastern, so in about 2 hours. So I'll probably get smoked, but it's all good. Let's play e3. Sicilian basis, I'll play Sicilian too. About the rating system, that it might actually be that bad. I mean, I think there's a problem, and as I said, it's very specifically because I looked. Let's go queen b3 and pressure the bishop, pressure the pawn on d5 here. I'll take and go rook c1. It concerns me mainly because like I looked at that kid's games in the Asian games, and I was like, wait a second, he lost at 1500. What's going on? I'm gonna play rook c1. Like I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. Okay, let me change the scene very quickly. We'll cover this as content later, but like look at his results. Okay, Roman Shogdaziev played in the Asian Youth Chess Championship under 8, and this was like 1 week or less before the World Rapid and Blitz. Okay, he beat an 1100, right? He beat a 1200. He beat a 1400. He lost to a 1511 rated player from Kazakhstan. This is a kid who's beating IMs and GMs. He lost to 1511, beats a 1300, beats a 1300, loses to a 1500 from Vietnam, beats a 1370, loses to a 1552 from Vietnam. And this is why what I'm saying, like there's a problem with the rating system right now, and it's gonna have to be addressed at some point. Let me change the scene. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go bishop d3 and castles next move. Yeah, he lost 98 points. Yeah, he lost 98 points because he lost to 3 kids who were not 1500. I mean, that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, that's what happened. So let's go bishop b5 and pressure the knight. They're all under 8. The ratings aren't stable, but there should never be that kind of a disparity, should there? Should someone who, I mean, like, I feel like if you want to say the kid should be like 2000, maybe that's fine. But if you look at the games, those kids played like 2400 players, and I'll show you the games later, of course. I'm gonna go rook c3 and rook c1 here to pressure the bishop on c6. Go knight e5. Bishop's under pressure. But then what that makes me think is that makes me think though, like, no, I'm not, the kids are completely legit. I looked at the games. What it makes me think though is it makes me think that at the end of the day, there's the problem then with the whole argument about like cheating or anything else is that we actually always assume the ratings are correct. Like everything that like Kramnik says, for example, is based around the ratings being correct. Like if you get away from all the nonsense that he was saying about like streaks and all that other stuff, but you look at the actual stuff about like people overperforming, what happens if the ratings are wrong? I mean, because that's what I'm starting to think, is that the ratings are just wrong. Like if you're below a certain age, I think the ratings might just actually be wrong. Like people might just be wrongly rated, whereas we as people who played chess our whole lives, we assume the ratings in the rating system are correct, but they could just be wrong. Okay, I'm gonna go king g2. I'm gonna play rook c5 here, try to win the pawn on d5. Let's go b5 b6. Oh, he gets the king to d6, but okay, let's just go here. One endgame technique that you should remember is rook behind the passed pawn, and this is very, very good. Let's just go g4, maybe stop f5. Let's go e4, create the chain of the pawns. I'm gonna go d6 and rook f5 is not checkmate, I guess, but I have d6 d7. Sorry, I haven't been explaining my moves super well because I've been talking about a lot of topics through this, but I will zone in now. Okay, you guys, I'll zone in. Okay, let's go. Super serious, super serious, super serious, super focused, no nonsense. Okay, we're gonna play e4 here. e4 is a move that I played as a child for my entire career up until I was about IM level 2400. I also played knight f3. I'm gonna play d4, Scotch opening. Now it's funny because I played the classic Scotch with knight takes d4, whereas my stepfather played the classic Clubber Lang variation with bishop c4. Or wait, sorry, not Clubber Lang, Max Lang, sorry. My stepfather played the Max Lang. So let's go bishop c4. I don't know why I'm thinking about Rocky, but anyway, okay. Why did I was gonna play normal and I played bishop c4. Okay, let's take anyway. Losing my mind, sorry. Yeah. Lulz, Clubber Lang, yeah. Get bishop c5. I guess I'll go bishop e3 and c3, try to build the center here a little bit as much as I can. Clubber Lang, yes. Yeah. That was Mr. T, right? If I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it, or am I wrong? Let me see. Yeah, Clubber Lang, that was yeah. Let's go knight c3 here. Pity the fool. Pity the fool. Yeah, let's play knight f5 here. Okay, now what's happening is my opponent's not developed enough material in the center, so I'm going to try to attack him on the king side very, very quickly here. d5 is an aggressive move, which I think is good. I'm going to take, if he plays knight e4, I might have knight e6 or queen g4. The problem for my opponent is that all my pieces are kind of really, really well placed to aim towards his king. Super focused. I don't even know what opening to play. It goes knight a5. Trying to go towards the wrong side of the board here, I feel like, but it's not a terrible move actually. I think I'm gonna go, how do I attack here? I really want to attack. There's no good way to attack, so I guess I'm just gonna play this very slow. I guess I'll just trade pieces off the board here. I'll go check, trade, and go bishop d3. I'm still up a pawn here in the long run. Okay, let's go check, let's trade, and then let's go here. I mean, maybe not wonderful, but it's playable. The moonlight. Whoa, Bitcoin 48K. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's play bishop d3. FOMO, I have zero FOMO, you guys. Zero FOMO. I'm not thinking about the Bitcoin I sold. No, I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I made a couple of buys at the start of the year, and I'm already up like, I think I'm already up like 7% in one of them. So I'm feeling very, very good. Although I'm very upset because I made a big mistake in a stock that went up 200% basically 2 days after I sold it. So I'm not very happy about that, but whatever. So, all right. Play e5, attack the knight on f6 here. Maybe go knight d6 and hit the pawn on f7. Probably bishop e4 next move. No, my Bitcoin that I had, I sold it at I think I sold it at like 40,500 or something. Let's play bishop e4, target the knight here, play f4 next move. But it tanked right away to like 25k almost immediately after I sold. So I felt very good about it. No, if I want to be upset about Bitcoin, I'd be upset about the fact that I own Bitcoin at 900 and I sold it, I think, around 5,000, maybe a little bit below. So if I want to be upset about something, I'd be upset about that, not about the Bitcoin, not about the one Bitcoin I sold. So I'm gonna go c3, dominate the knight here. I'll probably play rook d8, but that's my philosophy. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna play rook d1 here. I've got a nice center here. I can play g3, maybe rook d2, rook d1. So I'm gonna go f5 and kick the knight away here. I think I have knight f7 check because now I win some material and I should be winning. Let's take. Let's go check. Yes, it takes. He's made it here and I should be winning. Let's take and go g3. I'll play puzzles, but that's at 12 o'clock. Let's take. I got a message from your mom, Hikaru. You have to give me 5 Bitcoins. I'll double it and pass it back to her. You know what's funny though is like it's interesting because like I can only really speak for myself and also like a couple other people I know, but I feel like the generation, my generation, my generation's parents, a lot of people who were like in their like 60s and 70s got really burned hard by the entire meltdown of tech in 2000. And so a lot of people I think who are like in their 60s or 70s, like I talk about like my mom specifically or like other people I know, they basically became very conservative after that. And so like most of them don't actually, I think, do those they don't want any risk at all because they got so burned by what happened in 2000 that like the market just is not interesting to them. I'm gonna play bishop f5, trade and go c6 and knight d7, and rook e8, knight f8, knight g6 next move. Play rook e8. Okay, I'm gonna go knight e4. If he takes, I take back. We actually have the classic Carlsbad California structure once again, same as in the exchange Caro-Kann. Let's take. Maybe I'll go knight b6, knight c4. 2008 too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can just take with a knight or free juicer and go b5 and then a6. I'm new on Kick. Is there a thing like Twitch on Prime? No, there's not, Mad Royal, but it's great to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the stream. There's no Prime on Kick. What Kick does have that Twitch doesn't have, first and foremost, is no ads. So you guys get to see the unfiltered experience, 0 ads whatsoever. So that's the thing, no ads. And if you do wish to subscribe to my channel, you're subscribing because you love me, the content creator. I should be careful. I shouldn't say that because I actually like, that's probably a pitch that like, that would be like what like an e-girl would say, right? Like, you guys love me, right? So no, but if you do want to support me as a streamer, and you subscribe, I do get 90% or 95% of the revenue. So if you want to support me, that's a good way to support me. I'm playing queen g6 here. I have an extra knight, e-girl Hikaru. Actually, you know, it's funny you mention that because I swear my name, you'll see Hikaru trending on Twitter fairly frequently, and whenever you see Hikaru trending on Twitter, it's some hot Asian girl. It's never me. So there probably is an e-girl named Hikaru. Let's play rook b8, maybe b3, b2, and b1 and win the game. Got the rook behind the pass pawn. Let's go b2, b1. Okay. All right. Let's make a queen here. Maybe queen c2 and hit the pawn on f2. Oh, come on, chill, you guys, relax. Come on. Play queen f2 and knight e3. There's like, it's K-pop or it's like K-pop or something. Like I was on Twitter recently and I saw something. It was like there was some like Asian show or something. Yeah, there was like some Asian show or something. It was like, why did Hikaru like why did they like hate on Hikaru or something? I was very confused by all of it. Yeah, I think it's just a forced check with knight g3 and rook h1. I'll chill, you guys. Gosh. Okay, checkmate. Next game coming up. Hikaru is a gender neutral name though. It is a gender neutral name because of course there's a famous let's play e4. There's a famous J-pop singer, Utada, of course. Okay, I'm gonna go bishop c4 and d3. I actually think this is a pretty decent setup at the beginner level. Just finish your development very, very quickly here. Maybe a3 and bishop a2 next move. Okay, let's just trade castle. Very easy flowing development here. Bishop out, pawn out, knight out, castle quickly. Let's go on. I guess I'll go bishop b3. I listen to J-pop. No, I'm gonna go a3 because if knight a5 I can drop the bishop back to a2. Let's play knight c3, knight e4. Do I speak Nihongo? Not much. Skoshi would be the right saying for that. No, the problem is that the main problem I would say is that growing up, my mom tried very hard to help my brother and I like basically speak Japanese, but the problem is when you grow up in America, and you're in school and you're speaking English. The problem is when my mom would try to speak to us in Japanese. I'm talking like when I was very young, so I don't even really remember this well. But when I was very young, she tried to speak to us in Japanese, but both my brother and I'd be like, we'd respond in English because obviously we're going to school, we're interacting in English, so it became very difficult. We did take lessons when I think when I was like 9 or 10. My mom sent us to like we took Japanese lessons on the weekend, but again, I've completely forgotten it, so I don't really speak it. I mean, I don't really like regret it on one hand, but it is kind of sad. I'll play bishop f4. Also, culture, I do wonder what the reason, I'm sure there's an actual explanation for this, but what the reasoning is behind people, like for example Chinese people, they almost all speak Chinese, whereas a lot of people I know who are like Japanese, like whether they're Issei or, you know, second generation, third generation, whatever they are, they actually don't speak Japanese. Like I'll give you an example, like Ryan Higa, for example. He's probably what, like third generation, and I don't think he speaks Japanese. And there are a lot of people I know who are like the Japanese people who don't actually, they for some reason they don't speak it. When you get to like second, third generation, they don't speak it. But whereas like explain chess, I will. Let's go here. Let's stack the rooks on the E file. Whereas like Chinese, I feel like they, whether it's first, second, third generation, they do, and a lot of other languages too. But Japanese, I mean, I don't know if it's because they like they want to assimilate or what it is, but it's just something that I have noticed. Okay, I'm gonna go rook e1, take the pawn on e6 here, sack the rook, and then I have rook e8, rook f6, and I should be winning. The rook takes. I've got rook e8. That's great. Bishop scoped with the rook here. Checkmate. That's GG. Next game, let's play e4. Now I'll start talking more about chess. Play knight f3 here. I'll play c3. Have I gone on vacation recently? No, you guys. I'm a streamer. If you were a streamer, you stream. That is your life. You do not have time to take vacations. Now, my opponent played a Sicilian, but he gave me a big white center very quickly. On top of that, with the pawn on d4, I'm going to be able to thrust with d5 like Elvis Presley would. And the knight has to move. I have queen d4. I have bishop b5. There should be a way to take advantage of this, but I actually don't see a quick strike. I think I'm going to go knight e5 and go for a quick strike with bishop b5 here, maybe. Maybe bishop f4, maybe just bishop b5. By the way, happy birthday to the King Elvis. He turned 85, right? 2 days ago or something. So happy birthday to the king. We all know he's like living somewhere in South America right now, or at least that's what the tabloids told me. So obviously it's all true. I think I'm gonna play, maybe I can go queen a4 here and bishop g5 next move, and take the knight on f6. Let's go here. Massive pressure. I've got the double pin here. I can also go knight e4 to really overload. I'm completely overloading him with these pins. Yeah, he's in Argentina. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, somehow I don't actually have a way to win. How bizarre. If I take, he takes back. If I take, he goes h5. I guess I'll just take and play rook d1 here. I'm gonna try to push this pawn up the board. I'm just gonna try to push this pawn to d7, create the pass pawn, which is protected with the rook behind it, and once I get d7, it should be very good. No, I'm joking, you guys. I'm joking. But I remember when I was a kid growing up, you go to the store and you always see like you'll see the tablet, and there's some stories like they'll say like some evil German guys like living in Argentina, or they'll say like Elvis is alive and living in like New Mexico or something. So I'm gonna take the pawn here. You should not have hung this pawn, but now I'm looking pretty good here. I have rook b1, pawn's very weak on b5, and I should be close to winning. Okay, I'm gonna go b3 so he can't take the juicer. Let's go rook d2 and rook d1 here. Okay. So anyway, hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, wherever you are in the wide world. This guy's playing well. I'm gonna sack the rooks. I want to go d7 here. Okay, now is this a draw or not? Because we're headed for an opposite color bishop. Whoops, opposite color bishop's endgame. But I have two connected pawns on the queen side, so I'm gonna go here and hang h2. We'll see if my man thinks he's Bobby Fischer. He doesn't. I'm gonna go h3, put the pawns in the opposite color, and I think I'm actually winning here. Let's see. I'm gonna go here because with two connected pawns, I assume that I can start pushing P and win the game. And he's trying to bring the king back, but a king cannot stop a pawn avalanche, as the famous saying goes. And once these pawns start going up the board, this endgame should be winning. I'm going to fix the pawns, opposite color pawns. This should be pretty straightforward now. Bishop can't touch anything once I go f3. And now I just push these two pawns, and he really can't stop them. Go here. I want to put the bishop on e4 eventually. Let's go here. b5, b6 incoming. Let's go check. Let's go check. Let's go here. And now I go a6, a7. I use the pawns and the bishop to win the game here. He can't stop it, and I win. Which book would I recommend to learn endgames? There was a book that I bought. This was when I was already a very, very good player, actually. And it was a very small pocket book too. Yeah, I actually really liked it. It was very small. Open image, a new tab. Yes, for endgames there was this pocket book. It was very, very small. It was like literally like this. It was like, I don't have something this small, but it was like the size of this. It was like basically the size of this. It was like the size of this card. Not that I don't know why I have some 2015 badge for some reason, but anyway. Okay, let's play a French here. Let me change the scene. But yeah, it was like the size of this badge basically. So the book was called Concise Chess Endings. If you're looking for something that's like easy to go through as a book, you're looking for something that's easy to go through that's a book, that's what I would recommend. Basic Chess Endings, was that Edmar Mednes? I think I looked at that too. I was looking for something that was like pocket, small, easy to go through, doesn't require a lot of time. Just take and play bishop d6 here, and knight e7 and f6 here. That guy was not cheating, by the way. He was not cheating. I'm gonna play f6 to cut him off at the pass. No jumps here. I'm gonna castle next move, and this pawn blunts the knight. The horse has no good squares available anymore. What software do you use to study openings? I use Chessbase, but personally, I'm gonna be honest, do not spend $300 buying Chessbase unless you intend to play chess professionally and be poor. If you're just playing chess casually, you're having fun, you're a beginner, what I recommend we do is just use chess.com. Use the online resources. Like, do not waste your money on Chessbase. Now I'm gonna go, he wants to go c4 and chip away at my central structure, which is a very good idea here. I'm gonna play queen f5, and I want to trade the queens into an endgame because I think his pawns are weak, and I can go g5, g4. The knight is dominated, no jumps, so I can start pushing pawns on the king side. This stream is giving me strong chess vibes. Yeah, 100 endgames by Jesus de Villa is a great one, probably quite good. I'm not familiar with it personally, but I'll go h5 and g5 here. Do I read books on paper or digitally? These days mostly digital. But I'm gonna go h5 and g5, so I've got this great knight. I'm gonna play h4 to stop him from trading. I just want to go g5 because this knight on f5 is so well placed here. It targets everything. and it can't really be kicked away easily. So I'm gonna go g4, kick the horse, take the pawn. Now I get a jump to f3, and he's now created weak split pawns as well, so I should have an advantage here. Okay, let's go king f7. Oh, that's a free horse, and now I just kebab him on the 7th rank. Dvoretsky's book, The Bible of Endgames. I'm going to be honest, you guys. There is probably nobody in chat, unless Magnus Carlsen or Benjamin Bach or someone like that is lurking, who needs Dvoretsky's Endgame manual. Because Dvoretsky's Endgame manual is so good that there are endgames that I make mistakes, and like it's legitimately hardcore. So there's basically nobody in chat who needs that. Is what I would say. I do not recommend it unless you're a 2600 GM lurking in chat or lurking watching the stream. You do not need that book. Like, I'm just being honest. You do not need that book. That book is if you're hardcore, like literally hardcore. 1400, I would say at 1400 you try to use that in-game manual. You're probably gonna probably grasp maybe 15% of what's in that book, if that. Probably 15%, if that. Now I have extra material here, so it's just a matter of finishing up with these knights. Go b5 and takes here, and b4. Silman's endgame books, many endgame books that are good. Dvoretsky's book I just don't recommend unless you're really hardcore, like you're a very strong player. It's not necessary. Let's go check. I'm gonna try to mate him with these knights. Thank you to Mokusu for the 3-month resub. Thanks for Mokusu. Let's go checkmate. Reassess your chess by Silman. I have not looked at it personally. I've heard great things about it, and the people who have said good things about it honestly are people that okay, wait, d4. Okay, let's play. I don't like the king. I feel like you really should play d5 e6. I really do feel like at the beginner level Queen's Gambit Decline is probably the best approach. I can't really rationalize other openings. King's Indian is playable too, but it's very hard to understand. King's Indian, another opening that I learned by reading the book Gary Kasparov on the King's Indian or whatever it was called. Can we get a London though? So I'm gonna go bishop f5 and e6, standard stuff here. 100 endgames you must know. Obviously I don't have time to look at all these different things, but I think there are a lot of different things that are good, but Dvoretsky specifically I just don't recommend. I don't recommend unless your over the board rating is 2400. There's basically, in my opinion, no reason to look at it. It's just way too complex. There's so many better endgame books that you can probably find out there, like this 100 endgames you must know. That sounds exactly like the sort of thing that a beginner probably should look at, because it's like 100 endgames you need to know, and most of the time you're not even going to get into endgames if you're not a very strong player to begin with. So therefore that sounds about right. I'm going to play rook f8 here. Goes rook c1. I'm gonna drop the bishop back, so if he takes I can take with the knight, because if he takes and gets e4 he could fork me. So I think I'm gonna trade and go knight e4. Now my rook on the optimal square to open up this d file and contest. Let's take. Chess courses are books. I mean, I think they're all kind of the same. Again, I don't have time to look at everything, so I can't really give you like a truly honest opinion. But this hangs a pawn, by the way, because now the queen's under attack, and I'm gonna go bishop d3. If he takes I take back. He can't take now, and now I get a pass pawn in the middle of the board. I'm gonna stack the towers, rook d5, rook d8, double stack with the pawn behind it, or pawn in front of it. Go rook d4, hit the queen here. I've got d2 somewhere. I think I'm gonna go here. Now he has evened out the material here, but I'm trusting that this pass pawn is going to be overwhelming in the end game. Goes queen b3. I can obviously trade if I want to. I don't really want to trade. I also don't really want to play queen d7. I think I'll just go d2 here. If he takes I'll just take back. Goes king f2. Okay, now the key to winning the game is that I think I need to start getting aggressive and trying to attack him on the king side, because he's trying to win this pawn on a d2. Oops, there goes the pawn. Now we take, and now we take, and I'm actually just gobbling here. I'm very hungry, so I'm just gobbling all his pawns off the board. He literally lost all his pawns in no time. Now he's gonna lose the rook. This is like Pac-Man. I literally just I gobbled 1 2 3 4 5 6, and now I'm gonna gobble the queen too. Yeah, I just gobble everything. That one's south in a hurry. Check. Maybe I'll lolly him. Let's go h4 h3 and go for the lolly mate. Go check. Can I make 1 2 3 4 5 6? I can make 9 queens, right? 9 queens is pretty sexy, not gonna lie. Let's go here, move the queen here. Let's take, go a5 a4 a3 a2 b2. I don't think I've ever made 9 queens in a game. We're gonna make history. Let's go b2. Let's go here, push the pawns. Let's go here, go here. I don't think I've ever made 9 queens in a game of chess. I miss an end peasant. Yeah, that's mate though. I gotta make 9 queens. How do I make 9 queens without stalemating? It's actually kind of tricky here. I can pre-move this. I don't think I've ever had 9 queens in a game before. Go here. How do I get the 9th queen though? This is very dangerous. Oh wait, g2 is stalemate. Go here. There's some way to do this. There's no better. Yeah, I guess this is the cleanest mate. Yeah, there we go. I don't think I've ever gotten. I've never had 9 queens in a game. I've never gotten 9 queens. Let's go e4. Okay, now again, back to base. Let's play knight f3, d4. Let's play the Scotch opening. Like I said, it's the opening that I recommend. Definitely an opening that I recommend. I actually have had this in competitive play, but normally they're supposed to go knight e7, knight c6 to hit the queen. Knight f6 gives me e5, and now the knight has to go back, and I get my quick development. He's lost time. This also hampers him from getting the king out of the middle of the board. I guess I'll just castle and play rook e1. Very, very fast development here, and black's in a lot of trouble already. A lot of trouble. I could take f7, but I'm just going to take here and play rook e1 to show you guys why this knight f6 move was so bad, because he's lacking in development. So I'm going to get this really, really fast development here, really, really quick development, and he's got no development in the center of the board. I just take, go here, kick the queen off the center file. This is why the opening is actually very important, because if you make one stupid move like knight f6 here, now it's just all over. Ooh, I forked the king and the queen, and this is GG on the spot. Takes, bishop f4, GG. Queen c7 mate. Uh-oh, that's not it. Does Rosen score of 9 queens? I don't know. It may or may not. I'm not sure. Not sure. Okay. I plays e4. This is a 2000 player, so I'm gonna play a Sicilian. Someone asked for a Sicilian. Play e6 and takes. Play the classic con setup. It's one of the setups I kind of like a little bit more at the beginner level. Let's go here, hit the pawn. Let's go queen c7. Okay, let's play bishop c5. Okay, and go bishop a7 or bishop e7 here. I'm gonna play d6, maybe knight d7, maybe e5 next move to hit the knight on d4. Now it can be very hard to play this position because structurally it's very tricky with the backwards pawns. Very tricky. Like I'm gonna go bishop e6 and develop here. I can also take with the pawn or play knight d7 or knight c6, but position is difficult to play at times. I mean, it's also why in general with the with Sicilians I don't really recommend the e6 d6. Like dragon and accelerated dragon are probably actually a little bit easier to play at the beginner level because here you have to understand the pawn structure, you have to understand knight d4. It's not easy to play. I'll take with a bishop, of course, and now I get this bastion with the knight on d4 here. Play knight d4 here, hit the bishop on e2. I'm gonna play queen d7 here. I still want to go rook c8 somewhere, or maybe b5. The pawn on e4 also very loose. But I have this untouchable knight on d4. He can go knight f5 or knight c2 down the road, but it should be better for me here because this knight is just so well placed. No pawns to touch. He'd love to put this pawn here or this pawn here or this pawn here, but he can't get there. So I'm just gonna castle. Gonna go rook c8 here, put pressure on the file. Wow, he finds knight c2, which is in a way a very good move, but also it's a little bit late here because you're gonna see me take the file now. I'm gonna take the c file here with the queen and the rook to double stack, and his bishop is actually not targeting anything. It's a very bad bishop. It's looking at a pawn, but it's doing nothing. The center of the board is very close. His bishop looks good, but I actually have all the play here with the queen coming in. Go watch MasterChef. No, we're not doing MasterChef today. I'm just gonna go queen c2 and trade. Actually, we'll do MasterChef later. Probably we probably will. Because there's the only open files controlled by me. I'm gonna go b6 here so he can't push. Now the bishop is really bad. You'll see everything here is on the opposite color. I'm gonna go check, go here, queen c3, trade, and then knight c5. Let's go here, rook c3, knight c5. I'm gonna use all these dark squares, and this bishop is so sad on e2. Look at how it has absolutely no scope whatsoever. Now the key here is I can win many ways, but I'm gonna go h5 here. He can't go rook c1 or rook b3, so he can't contest here. Plays h4. I'll just go g6, consolidate my chain. And now I'm gonna actually I can actually just take, so I can always close the file with knight c5 here, and he doesn't get in, and I just take, go here, pin the bishop, and go a4 a3 or queen e3. This is good enough. Go a4. I think I can just sack, and I push p, and I go king f8. King gets over, and he can't stop this one. I just take. Okay, I have to mate him. You asked for kings in attack, kind of hard. Let's play this again. I mean, I do really think this is the best. When will Hikaru retire? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I've already thought about it though. Let's just play e6 and develop here. But honestly, I'm having too much fun streaming, and even if I were to stop playing professional chess, I still think that I would stream to some degree. Okay, now I'm gonna play this a6 move just to stop this knight b5 idea, to try and pressure the pawn. Not necessary, but it's a decent move. I'll just go here, takes, develop the pieces. Pretty standard stuff here. Go bishop d6. Stream means we watch MasterChef. Exactly. Let's play knight d7. Nick Saban and Pete Carroll both 72 and retired. Yeah, it wasn't. Today was the big shakeup, right? Big shakeup. We get h5. I will just take. Gonna play h6. This guy is actually playing pretty well so far. This is a good opening from him. When will Hikaru go full Kramnik? That's actually one of the single biggest reasons that I will not stick around once I'm no longer that good, for that exact reason. Because basically that's the thing, like, is at some point if I can't play as well as I once could, you do start to lose it a little bit. You're like, how can these people be better than me? Like, I was so good, how can they be better? I think it's very easy to go a little bit delusional like that. Are you happy or disappointed with the support you've gotten from the chess world or the Kramnik accusation? I'm pretty disappointed. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty disappointed by the whole thing. And it's you guys will hear more down the road, but it's my outlook and my view of a lot of things have shifted specifically because of that. I'm gonna play. Someone asked for king's any attack. Let's go knight f3 g3. I'll play another king's any attack. I don't really recommend it. I'm gonna go here d3 knight bd2. Can we get happier music? Sorry. I think it's good though. I'm gonna play d3 knight d2 e4 castles. Joe Baba next. Joe Baba, yeah. Futures or options. You better be rich if you want to do futures, because I think individual futures contracts are 100k. Yeah, I mean individual. Go here in e4. Go e4. I'm gonna play e4, maybe d4, maybe queen e2. How can I learn chess books or tutorials? It's all good. Okay, I'm gonna play rook e1 here, e5. We're gonna get our classic kings in the attack. Now I'm gonna get exactly what I want. Go e5. Actually, he's got the knight on e7, so I'm threatening d4 to trap this bishop. No, this arena is ending in about 18 minutes. I guess I'll go d4, just support my center, and I'm gonna go h4 h5 and kick this knight out of town too. Oh, all right. Go h4 h5, kick this horse out of town. Will I cover Tata still? I will. Yes, I will. I will cover Tata still. Yeah, this is a king's any attack, knight f1, knight h2 incoming. A little bit of a bad version for my opponent because I also have a very, very solid center. Normally black at c5, b5, a5 and pushes everything on the queen side. Here my center is so compact that it should be very good. I can take and go knight g5 here. Play rook e6. Free pawn. I can just go knight f1, knight h2, knight h4 again to follow the standard procedure very soon. Don't you weaken your king? Not really, because here you don't really weaken your king because the pawns are very, very well connected. You've got a knight and a bishop in front of it, so you actually don't weaken your king that much. Let's go knight f1, standard operation in the king's Indian attack. Now I'm gonna play knight e3, knight d5, knight g4 ideas. Is there any site or software train my entire white or black repertoires? What's your opinion about it? I don't think there is. There might be a way to do like replaying it, but I mean, maybe there's a way to play against one of the bots on chess.com. Maybe. I honestly don't know though. I don't know. Sounds like there should be a way to do it, but I don't know. He's gonna take, and then I'm gonna take this pawn and go for knight e7. I've got this great scope that's open now. Knight e7 incoming. Knight e7 is good, but you know, I don't actually have to do it. I can just play like rook e1, very quiet and calm, just bring everything out very, very slowly. Knight e7 was better, actually, do it right away, and then rook e1, but it's still kind of the same thing. I'm gonna go like bishop g5, just bring the bishop in, bring the queen out, go for the big kill here on the king side. Let's go check, and there should be a way to mate. I don't actually see a forced mate, but take. This is discover check. And I think I have queen c6, which is mate next move. go checkmate. Next game. All right, again, I'm just gonna stick with e4. Actually, no, you know what? Let's play a king's in the attack, but with d3 knight d2 like this, and g3 bishop g2. So I'll play standard setup. Very possible to play like this. So I'll castle and play rook e1. Go here, maybe d4. I don't like this bishop because now you can't develop the bishop. Normally this light square bishop should be on this diagonal. You can't do it. Now after d4, something very bad is happening in the center of the board. We're going to get the most common trick in beginner chess, which is this fork of a bishop and a knight with a central pawn. How much is the prize for your tournament? What tournament? Let's just go here. Takes creates a massive weakness on the king side here. Massive weakness. And everything's coming over to the king side very quickly. I'm going to bring the rook over, bring the bishop over. Go here, hit the rook. I'm interested to see how Zhu Wenjun does in Tata I don't think it's going to be pretty. I mean, I don't want to speak negatively, of course, but I don't know. I'm going to go queen d2 and queen h6 here and try to win the game. Play queen h6, and I think I have a lolly here, actually. Go check and mate. Okay, next game. Probably gonna play some blitz. Why not normal opening? Do it interesting. Well, people were asked for kings in the attack. It's a very flexible opening to play. I think at the beginner level, Caro-Kann, e5. I mean, I think e5 is e5, Caro-Kann, and Sicilian. Those are really the three moves that you can play at the beginner level. Okay, now nobody plays the Berlin. Everybody plays a6, so I'm gonna play a6 here, and let's go knight f6. We are going to move on to our other content pretty soon, by the way. I'm going to play like Fabiano Caruana with b5, bishop c5, and d6 here. This is a classic Archangel. Fabi did a course for the for Chessable recently called the Dark Archangel. I'm going to play h6, maybe takes. Let's go g5, bishop g4 here. Pressure on the knight. Very, very hard to play this for white. I could go h5, but I think there's just a free pawn to snap due to the pin. Looks like a free pawn. Haven't seen this opening much. The Archangel is not something that's played at the lower level, primarily because it's very dangerous bringing a bishop out where you can get hit by a c3 d4 right away, and white has this diagonal pressure on e5, and if you don't know exactly what to do, you can get into trouble very quickly. So I do not actually recommend this at a beginner level. Anything where your opponent gets to push pawns and maybe harass a knight or a bishop, like, you know, for example, like I'll give you an example. If there's something like this, like where white can kick a knight or white can kick a bishop, there's a very, very quick play with the pawns in the center going after a bishop or a knight where you have to move your bishop and knight away. It's very easy to go wrong. Very, very easy. Go here. I don't want to break the pin. King's Gambit at 1k elo is absolutely playable. Yes. I mean, I would say the generally what I would say, and I know a lot of this has to do with like online chess, but any opening is playable up to a certain level. Literally, like even Tyler 1 was playing this ridiculous cow opening, which is of course complete nonsense, and he was doing fine with it. Like the opening does not matter as long as you can get to the middle of the game, like move 15 with a position that you're not completely lost. That's all that the opening really needs to serve. That's the only purpose of the opening up to that level even. So like at the end of the day, the opening does not matter. There's too much of a priority or a feeling that your opening strategies are really, really important. They do not matter until you're probably, at least I'll say online, because online and over the board a little bit different, but like online I would say up to maybe 2000 level, it doesn't matter as long as you get to move 15 and you're not lost or down material. That's all you need the opening to do, because then you get to play the game. You get to actually showcase what your abilities are. Now I'm up a pawn here. My king is actually very safe because I have all these pieces around with the bishop and the pawns. So even though it looks scary having pushed these pawns, I am better. Yeah, like it's all tactics. Tactics, I mean, tactics, pattern recognition, whatever you want to call it. Dude, I'm not going after Anna. Like Anna did not create the opening. I'm sorry, but I've said this before too, you guys. This opening, there's someone I know who's playing this opening in the early 2000s online. Anna did not create this opening. Like, come on, stop being weird. Jeez. Play rook c8. Like, come on. Not to mention, I've been playing that opening in Crazy House chess also since the early 2000s. Jeez. Play rook e8 and pressure the knight. What's crazy how it's where you capture piece and they come back on the board. So I'm just gonna trade the rooks. I've got an extra horse and I should be winning. Let's play knight d5 and c3. Pass pawn. I can go c2 knight before knight f4 and it's completely winning. Go here, pressure either way, completely winning position. Let's take and take the rook. So yeah, openings don't matter. That's the bottom line. Openings, as long as you're not losing, the opening doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. And a lot of people sort of don't realize that. They think like they play a good opening, you get some big advantage, like the opening's going to win you the game. You can win games at the beginner level out of the opening, but generally that's not going to be the case. That's generally not going to be the case. Everything before streaming is forgotten to some degree, yes. Well, let's play d5, take some space in the center, knight f6. I think this is the best approach. I really do think at the beginner level, just this approach is best. Just create the central pawns. How do I calculate so quickly? Because I've been playing chess for a very long time. That's just the bottom line. Greatest player ever. I mean, it's subjective. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, though, there are two players who stand above the rest, and I don't think it's even close. The stream is not on delay. No, we are live. The two players who stand above everyone else are obviously Magnus and Gary. Fischer was way ahead of the field relative to like where Gary or Magnus are, but he quit chess very early. Like he didn't continue. If Fischer like, I'll give you a take. If Fischer had kept his 120 rating point difference for say 3 more years, I think you could honestly make an argument that Bobby Fischer is the greatest player of all time. I think you could make that argument, but the fact that it was basically a very short window of time, a couple of years, it's really hard to put Fischer in the same category as Kasparov or Magnus, just because it was so short. Like if Fischer had maintained 2790, 2780, 2790, whatever it was, for say 3 more years, and the other guys were like 2640, I think there's actually probably no comparison. I think you would say Bobby Fischer is easily the greatest player of all time, but because of how brief his reign was and how quickly he dropped off, he just stopped playing altogether. I think it's very hard to make any argument for Fischer. Let's go here. This pawn at e4 very weak. My opponent has a weak pawn structure, as Philidor said in the 1700s. I remember when I was there at the Café de la Régence in Paris. Pawns are the soul of chess, and my opponent's pawns are very weak here. So I'm gonna go like rook d8, rook e8, and pressure the pawn. I've got a great bash and knight in front of the pawn. The Café de la Régence in Paris. I don't think it's called that anymore, but it was a very famous cafe in Paris, where chess was very prominent. Let me see if there's an article. Oh, does it still exist? Oh, it's still, or it's a Café de la Régence. Yeah, does it still exist? Saint Rouet Honor. No, it still exists. Le Café de la Régence still exists. Let's play rook d8 and hit the queen. It still exists. At least Google says it exists. But yeah, it was a place in Paris where the great chess masters of the time, they would go in the 1800s. Even though I've got a good structure, it's not easy to win this game. So my bishop is very bad. I'm gonna need to reroute the bishop to win the game. Bishop it looks good, but it's not actually winning the pawn, so it's just very passive. So I need to reroute it somehow. If longevity is not taking about Bo Jackson's greatest running back of all time, okay, thank you. Barry Sanders is the greatest without a doubt. No doubt about it. Okay, so after this, we're going to cover a bunch of articles and go from there. I mean, let's go here. I mean, this is not a beginner concept. This is very deep. This bishop g8 f6, but I want to put the bishop on a really nice diagonal because I'm not really pressuring this pawn. If you ever have kids, are you going to do a Project Carlson? What do you mean by that? You mean would I have my kids play chess? No, of course not. That's like Michael Jordan. I mean, like, his kids play basketball. Well, let's be honest. I mean, there's nothing they can do in their entire life to measure up to MJ. It's just like, it's just stupid. I'm going to reroute the bishop here. Actually, didn't Michael Jordan's son marry Scottie Pippen's wife or something? I guess I'll go like queen b4, queen d4 here. Let's see. Don't I have, feels like there should be a mate here. Let's go bishop c4 to hit the queen. Is this mate? Oh, it's not mate, no. But he's gonna lose the queen. Okay, let's play e4 here. d4. I do not like hyper modern openings. I do not recommend g6, d6, or b6, any of this stuff at the beginner level. I mean, it's obviously playable, but it's very, very risky, and in the long term it's going to be bad for your chess, especially if you're trying to improve, because at some point you're going to play players who are good enough that they just punish you. Like, one thing I noticed with Tyler 1 when he was playing is that the e6, d6, knight g6 is, if his opponents had ever played h4, h5 early in the game, he would have lost every single game. And so it's one of those things where at a lower level, yes, you can get away with that up to a point, but once you play like 16, 17, 1800s, they're going to play h4, h5, and you're going to get crushed. You're just going to get crushed every game, and so you're just going to stop improving. Now I'm going to go check here, try to force him to close the diagonal so I can drop back, and he does close it. Now I'll go e5 here, build a nice chain of pawns. I guess I'll go here to spy the pawns both ways here. He castles. Now the danger here is I'm gonna play h5. This is also why, like, I'm just gonna show you guys why you can't play like this at the beginner level, because like if your opponent knows what they're doing, they're 18, 1900, they're gonna find these sacks and they're just gonna obliterate you out of the opening. You just learn how to play against h4, h5. Well, in the case of the what Tyler 1 was doing, it's actually much worse because he was putting a knight on g6. So in this opening, you'll see like my opponent can play g6, h6 to stop it, but if you have a knight on g6, having to go h5 is very, very risky. Very risky. I'm gonna take the knight here. I'm gonna play this move because now I can take the pawn. I'm trying to win this game. I can still take. If he goes back, there's h7, and everything is kind of collapsing. Now I'll take. I have bishop h6 check. Open the scope. How do I win this game quickly? I think I'll go rook h5, sack the horse to try to bring the queen to the party as well. When I'm the Botez Bolt Speeder, I basically stopped because I couldn't get my rating up. It was just too hard. I mean, I probably could get it up a little bit more, but it was just very, very brutal. Go here, taking queen f5 now. Try to checkmate the king. Not a basic concept, but should be winning anyway. Okay, let's go rook f5, I guess. Okay, plays 95. I'll just take f6. How high did I get? Around 2600-ish, give or take. Give or take. Okay, let's just castle, get the king out of the middle of the board, take the pawn. I can even take this due to the pin. Now we're up too much material, and we will win this game in a second. h4, h5 gives you a crowbar to the king side. That's a funny explanation of h4, h5, but I think it's actually right. It gives you a crowbar. Like the crowbar. That's an interesting explanation. I never thought of it like that, but that's actually not a bad explanation. It gives you a crowbar. Oh, I had queen f8, which was mate. What am I doing? That was mate in 1. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna go use the Russian very quickly. We'll be right back. What do we end on? 81 points, 21-21. Big shout out to Florida Chess, I guess. FLA Chess. Big shout out to Florida Chess for winning the arena. What is... Wait, I'm sorry, you guys. Maybe I'm stupid. What is this country? What is Comoros? I've actually never heard of this country. What is Comoros? I've never heard of it. It's a country in East Africa. Oh, it's a volcanic archipelago off of Africa's east coast. I've never heard of it, actually. I've literally never heard the name. So basically, he's claiming that he's literally in an he's claiming that he's in a tiny island in the middle of Africa, off the coast of Africa. It's off of, that's where it is. It's off of Tanzania. Okay. It's off of Tanzania and Malawi. Okay, that's where it is. Okay, fair enough.